Well, seeing as how I've already pissed off about one half of the rivalry, I thought might as well go ahead and make it a full 50-50. Let's go ahead and see how the red side, my side, feels about this take. And of course, you're just, they hate it, don't they? They hate it. There's a lot of downvotes, right? There's a lot. There's got to be a lot. Anyway, we'll talk about PK, his recruiting situation, and we'll move forward. What's cooking? Welcome back into another edition of Now We Can Talk Like Fans on ESPN Louisville Plus. My name is Justin Soforo, and of course, talking all things Cards, Cats, Bourbon, and Bluegrass, and that means everything. U of L, UK, and just all the news and the situation as it permeates, as it happens. And of course, today, I'm sure this is going to go over swimmingly. I'm sure the U of L fans are going to be just as warm and cuddly and nice to me as the Kentucky fans. And for all transparency, if this is the first time you're seeing the video, I'm a Louisville fan. I've got a lot of Louisville stuff over there. I had to have some UK stuff to balance it out. But the Louisville stuff is who I am. So maybe take this with a grain of salt before we really talk about everything that's happening. Let's live in some semblance of a reality. And let's talk about the unfortunate recruiting situation that the University of Louisville seems to find themselves in. And then at the same time, let's talk about what, I guess, my take on what's really happening, what's really going on. And of course, I'll let you all share your opinions in the comment section down below. Let's go ahead and throw an article over at the Big Red Louie. I feel like that's a name website that we haven't heard from in a long time. But Luke Santangelo seems to have some upsetting news regarding the loss of another recruit that Pat Kelsey had in the crosshairs. Of course, we were talking about UConn and Louisville target of one. Let's go ahead and skip these. We don't want that. Colbin Lander, who just committed to the Huskies within the last few hours, depending on when you see this video. But anyway, he had committed to the Huskies. He, for all intents and purposes, was Louisville's top target. Especially given that they had just missed out, whiffed, if you will. Whiffed. We said it. We said whiffed. We got whiffed out there. You happy, BBN? If you're watching this, I'm sure I know you're lurking. But I hope you're happy. Pat Kelsey whiffed once again, as the guard stated that he loved the University of Louisville, but unfortunately it wasn't enough as he committed to the Huskies and Dan Hurley. First comment that I'm going to make. It's a loser statement. I get it. It's Dan Hurley. He's won back-to-back titles. He's a madman. He's insane. But he is, to me, the modern era, the new, even though Rick Pitino's coaching, he is the newest Rick Pitino, right? That seems to be the way I view it. I view him of the same cut and cloth. I want to go ahead, definitely make sure you go over to Big Red Louie, read their article, everything that he wrote out there, good stuff. But just want to go ahead and highlight, I think there was a couple of comments that he had made, saying he was a 4-star recruit who ranked as high as 17 in the nation, number 3 shooting guard in the class, 6'5", whatever, numbers, stats, great, whatever. Cardinals are unable to earn his commitment, and the fans have now seen both Tay Kenny and Landry commit to other schools, making it feel like Louisville is struggling to earn that first commitment. And that's kind of where I come in with this. And this is where I'm trying to be fair and I'm trying to be reasonable. Do I have frustrations? Do I have a little bit of semblance of, I'm a little bit nervous about what the future, did we just hit that little high note of PK energy? People loved the PK thing. Louisville came hard with it. It's a weird way to put that, but Louisville came hard with it early on, got some guys, revitalized the program, 27 wins last season. And then now we're going to come back to this. And now we're looking at a Louisville that is, I guess, coming back to earth. I don't want to say pissing it down the drain, but I will say coming back to earth. If there's one thing that I want to be, it's fair and balanced. Call me Fox News. maybe don't. I don't know. I'm not getting into politics there. Anyway, but I would be fair and balanced in this. And one of the things that I want to say is there is a little bit of me that has consternation, that has frustration, that is starting to, I'm not hulking out here yet, but there was, if you were on Twitter, there were times that I had to lock up the Twitter. I had to shut it down for a little bit because people did not get happy with me with some of my comments and my opinions on Pat Kelsey, especially early on with some of the struggles. And then he reeled off all those victories to end up the season. And then unfortunately, We tend to forget this because we had a lot of highs last season, but it was kind of outside of the run in the ACC, unfortunately losing to Duke in the championship game. That Creighton loss, that beat down by Creighton, bad taste. Still can't get it out of my mouth. But we seem to have moved on and forgotten about that a little bit, especially because we had the highlights of potentially getting the number one player, Tyron Stokes, potentially getting Taylor Kinney, potentially getting a guy like Landry. It seems now reality is starting to settle in, and Louisville it does not seem to be in a place to land a lot of these highly sought after recruits out of high school. The way I want to voice this is I'm not trying to excuse make. But one thing that's been fairly evident and fairly apparent, even back in the day when we had Rick Pitino, we struggled to bring in some of the top tier talent, which is weird for a blue blood program. Now we can look at it. Is it money? Is it financials? Is it Kansas has the bags? Is it UConn has the bags now? Is it Kentucky still has the bag and Louisville has no bags? No bags. What Street will call him, Pity Pat has no bags. That's what he would say. I don't think it's that completely. I think, yes, there are places with much better wealth and money that they can spend on these players. I'm not going to say that Pat Kelsey went out here and evaluated and said, I'm sorry, I'm just looking at these numbers and I'm making out the transcripts. I just don't see how you're worth this valuation. My bank just isn't going to give this loan. We're just not willing to settle up with this amount of money. I'm not saying it's that. I laugh at that a little bit. It's like, if you want the player, if you want a Tyron Stokes, even though he's got a bad attitude, he's going to Kentucky because he comes from a bad family and isn't a player that we want. That's the reason he's going to Kentucky. And we'll see. We'll see if he commits there. A lot of people though in that poll that I put also were very confident still in the idea of maybe bringing Tyron Stokes, him still coming. I don't know why you're doing that. I don't know why you do that to yourselves. I don't know why you do that to me. I don't think he's coming, and I hope I'm wrong. I will buy a crow and eat it on camera if I am. All right, I have to cut in real quick because I totally forgot this, and I totally blanked out until the very end of the video. I just kind of one-tracked mine, got in, got out, made it all, and I totally forgot about the G League stuff, about going out after some of these players that are... That's the only way I can put it. It's yuck. Just... Andy Sweeney on the take, 12-3, ESPN 680, 105.7, and the ESPN Louisville app kind of covered it a little bit, but it's a worrisome trend. It's not something that I love or that I like. It also brings up a lot more questions, things that I'm going to talk about when we start doing some live coverage over here. I'm trying to bring the After Dark show back, and that'll be one of the first conversations that I want to have and I want to talk about is, where do we tread when it comes to bringing in and looking at these G League players? And what does that open up? What are the rules when it comes to the NBA? And can players reclassify? Can they go to the NBA? Can they fail the NBA and come back to college if you never play college? Is that a thing, or do we already know that? Is that covered? I haven't looked it up yet, so just for clarification, I have no idea. But I don't love it. Don't love the idea of G League players. It's a yucky sense that I get. I don't care if it was a 4-star from 2022. They're in the G League now. Let's move on. Let's go for new guys. Let's go for some semblance of youth. They don't need to be 35 years old with 3 kids. We don't need that. I don't know. But also I wonder this, and this is kind of my take on the situation and something I wonder if really Louisville basketball has decided that the future of this sport, the future of this program, the best way for us to succeed and the best way for Pat Kelsey to succeed is all in on the transfer portal. It's all about the portal. It's not really about bringing in these freshman players, these young, talented players. It's about bringing in the grown men who have shown that they can win and play at a high level. You look what Louisville did last 2 transfer portal classes. Chucky Hepburn and co. were able to flip this program into what it was under Kenny Payne and his bum ass to what it is now, which is back in respect with the higher ranks. I think, and then also, I'm going to say this, like I said, I'm trying to be careful. I'm trying not to be, I hate being a homer. If you love the homer radio stuff, if you love the guy who is going to slurp up your coach, slurp up your team, that's just not me. That's not how I live. That's not how I talk about my teams. I live in reality. Maybe I'm much more negative Maybe I hate on my team more than anybody. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. But I do kind of have some semblance of faith when it comes to Louisville basketball and their recruiting in the transfer portal. I think they're really focusing in on that. If you look at the transfer portal, the way the last one went, the guys that he brought in, outside of Michael Brown, who was a freshman, it is highly thought of, highly rated players in the transfer portal. And not only did were they targeted and wrapped up, they were wrapped up pretty quick. I mean, we're talking about what? Like within the first week and a half, I felt like Pat Kelsey got every single one of his guys done. So that's why I'm not worried yet. I'm not worried yet about Pat Kelsey. But that worry may start to creep on depending on how this season goes. And that's why there's a lot of pressure on Pat Kelsey to win and win big this season. I'm not saying he has to go win a national title. I'm not even saying he has to win the ACC title. But you damn well better compete, and you damn well better look like you belong to be there. Because I understand winning a national title, as much as Kentucky fans like to say number 9's coming this year, number 9 ain't coming this year. Write it down. It's very hard to win a national championship. All my life, I only saw it one time so far. It happened. Rick Pitino won it. So at this time, though, I want to look like the team that Louisville should look like. We hype up and we talk about how good these players are, how well they're gelling as a team. We talk about the shooter that Michael Brown is. I need to see it. I need to see it pan out. I need to know that PK is that guy and that it's not a lot of fluff. And last year, yes, the way the teams played was great. It was a nice change of pace from Kenny Payne. But let's not pretend that the ACC, that they were world beaters, that it took a lot for Louisville really to get back in that league. It wasn't the SEC of last year. Now you're going to have a little bit of better competition, and then you also got a hell of a non-conference schedule. As it stands right now, though, I think, and that's just kind of my take in summary, is that I really feel like transfer portal is where these guys are focusing in on. And while they want to get these young high school players, the truth is, in the end, these high school players may not be at Louisville long term. They may only be there for, they'll be there for a year. Maybe they'll do what Jaden Clayton's probably going to do this year for Kentucky. I'm kidding. He's going to play. But, he's the sharp thing. Just go sit on the bench and ride it out and then go to the NBA or go to whatever your next team that'll pay you more money. We'll see. Vanderbilt, those players. We'll see what happens. I think right now, though, I'm not worried. I'm not worried. I feel like the more times I say that I'm not worried, it's like he's worried. Justin's worried. Anyway, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Oh, if you haven't already, do me a solid favor, smash that freaking like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon to stay notified for all our latest videos. And of course, I will see you all next time. Cards, Cats, Bourbon, and Bluegrass. See y'all.